high and don't stop till you get there. A very good morning to one and all present here. Myself Mahi Disha from second year commerce. As we all know, commerce has a vast scope and we can opt for different profession which can get us a livelihood. Today, we are gathered here to learn about one such profession which many of us dream. Yes, you're thinking right. Today, amongst us, we have a powerhouse of financial expert, an individual who has mastered the art of numbers and has the uncanny ability to decode the complexities of the financial world. C.A. SHASHANK Subramanyam, sir. But before getting into the topic, I would like to call the Swayasangama team of our college, Nitya, Dakshita, Rachita, Sumit, Madhura, Raghav, onto the stage to begin the event with an invocation song.
वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गणेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि गानचतुराय गानप्राणाय गानात्मने गानोत्सुकाय गानवन्ताय गानोत्सुकमनसे गुरुपूजिताय गुरुविक्रमाय गुरुप्रवराय गुरवे गुणपुरवे गुरुदैत्यकलाक्षेत्रे गुरुधर्मसदायात्राय गुरुपुत्रपरित्रात्रे गुरुपाखण्डखण्डकाय धीमताराय धीमतत्त्वाय गीतगोत्राय धीमहि गूढगुल्पाय गन्धमत्ताय गूढदेवताय धीमहि गुणाधीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गणेशानाय बालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
Next, I would like to call upon my friend Mihir onto the stage to welcome the gathering.
Some people want it to happen, some wish it would happen, and others make it happen. Good morning to everyone present here. Myself Mihir from second year commerce. With immense pleasure and honor, please join me in extending a warm and enthusiastic welcome to our esteemed chief guest, C.A. SHASHANK Subramanyam. Welcome, sir. I would like to welcome our beloved principal, whose wisdom and guidance has shaped the institution's path towards excellence, Dr. G.S. Nalini Madam. Welcome, ma'am. I heartily welcome our lecturers as well as non-teaching staff. Last but not the least, my dear friends. Most welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Mihir, for welcoming the gathering. Now, I would like to call my friend Venkatesh to introduce about the guest.
Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Good morning to one and all present here. Myself, Venkatesh from second year Commerce. I have been given this delightful opportunity to tell a few lines about our guest. We are overwhelmed to have you as our chief guest for this day, sir. So, to begin with, our guest, CA Shashank Subramanyam sir, has completed his schooling from Innisfree House School, later studied in Christ Junior College, where his team won a few intra and inter-college competitions such as product launch and crisis management. Our guest pursued CA title at the very young age of 22 with a distinction in CPT and IPCC exams. He worked in Deloitte Bangalore, where he got to work for companies like Apple, Amazon, United Spirits, Shell, and Wipro. To get an aggregate experience, he also joined his father's practice, BRV Gout and Companies. At present, our guest is having their own practice in the name of Shashank Subramanyam and Associates. Sir is also specialized in direct taxation along with statutory audits. He is more likely to take up IT assessments, appeals, tax planning, and structuring. If you think this was it, you are highly mistaken. Along with this profession, Sir is also health enthusiast and fitness freak. He has participated in runs, bicycle rides, and is regularly engaged in fitness training. With this, I would like to conclude addressing a part of our guest's journey. These are some of the achievements written in the books of accounts. There are many hidden in the incomplete records. Once again, I welcome you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Venkatesh, for giving an insightful glimpse and a brief journey about our chief guest. Now, the moment which we all are awaited for. I would like to call C.A. Shashank Subramanyam sir to address the gathering.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to come here and address all of you. I would like to thank the college, Dr. Nalini ma'am, Rajalakshmi ma'am for this wonderful opportunity. When Rajalakshmi ma'am invited me and asked me to address all of you, I initially wasn't too sure if I am experienced enough or if I'm qualified enough to address all of you. But then she explained, saying that the students might relate more to you and it would be an opportunity for them and for me. I was gladly I was very happy to take this opportunity. I thought there are some experiences in me, or some habits, or some thought processes that I have gone through. And if I can share all of this with you, even if something can influence someone or help someone in the long run, I would be a very happy man at the end of the day. So, on this thinking process, I took up this address. So, like I said, I don't think I was experienced enough because it was just not. It's been only few years since I was sitting in one of those chairs in a different college, listening to a different lecture, and so I would like to, as I said, when I sat there, what was my thought process when a lecture was there? Lecture was happening. I'm pretty sure it is mandatory for all of you to sit here, right? You can't bunk this session, can you? Especially with Dr. Nalini ma'am sitting here. So I would ask myself, do I have an option to bump this or walk away? The answer is obviously no. So then I would come up to my next best option of what I can do with this time and energy sitting here because you're also investing 45 minutes or 1 hour of your life by sitting here. 9 out of 10 times I would think, let me give a chance to the speaker, let me listen. If I can take away something from this address, it is going to benefit me. and it is going to be worth my time. But there are other options as well. You can probably doze off, you can have a good nap, you can crack jokes with your friend and have a good time. And I'm not saying these are bad things. These are also fine because you're creating an experience for yourself. And all these experiences at a young age is always precious. But this is a short term joy. Whereas if you can take off something from someone else's life and you can improve your life in the long run, I think that is much better. So 9 out of 10 times I would try to listen to the lecturer as much as I could. So the option is yours. I would hope you would choose, like me, the former option and give me a chance to tell about my story and my thinking process to all of you. My topic is you can have everything you want. So this is a very broad concept. And I would want to share and explain to you guys how this topic came to my mind. As a child, I was a very silent person. So I was not very mischievous, I was not very talkative. So some of my relatives and some of my preschool teachers thought there's something wrong with me. And but did they know, while I was silent, I was actually observing people and I was listening to whatever was happening around me. They could not understand this. Of course, even I couldn't understand this because I was small. But subconsciously, I was picking up a lot of things. And some of the things that I picked up was I could see a lot of one-dimensional people around me. They would be excellent at one thing, but not so good at other things. So, for example, someone would be very studious, someone would work very hard, earn a lot of money, but they would lack a lot of other aspects, such as social skills, or taking care of their body, or enjoying life in itself. And there are other people who know how to be very social, be very witty, be very funny, but they might not be as studious or intelligent as the other person. Like this, I can give a lot of examples that I want to give. There are some people who are very rich, but they don't have the culture or the mannerisms, or they take their health for granted. And there are some very religious people. They being religious is fine. I don't want to talk about religion, but they think too much about the heaven above them, and they forget there is heavenly life that is available here, and they forget to experience whatever possible things are there out there. So again, like, and there are a lot of sweet people, very very sweet people, but they are soft. But the good people have to be strong, and that's when it gives value to the goodness and the sweetness. So looking at all these one-dimensional strengths of people, I decided I don't want to be like this. I want to take in as much good qualities of each and every person and put it all in me. And that was my approach. From this thought process started when I was a kid itself, subconsciously, I guess. But then I could see this going through. But it is not easy, of course, because if you want to be good at a lot of things, or rather at least jack of all trades rather than a master of one, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes discipline. So if you're ready to give some time and effort to it, I'm sure all of us can achieve this. There is a saying that if you want something that most people don't have, you have to do things that most people don't do. And I think, like my introduction, they said, I also believe in this success is never owned, it is never final, it is always rented, and you have to pay the rent every single day. So you can't gain success, you can only be successful each day. So each day's effort makes a lot of counts to a lot at the end. Talking about this, so I would like I started about talking about my school life or my childhood. I would start off from the beginning so all of you can relate to my journey and understand what all I've done or what why this thought process or why this topic came up. In school, I thought I was a pretty average student. Until middle school, I didn't think much of studies itself. I think I was just happy and enjoying whatever there was. Once we hit high school, around 8th standard, that's when I got to know I'm probably above average at least. Because studies started getting more difficult for others, and for me, it wasn't getting as difficult as it was for them. With less efforts, I used to get more marks than them. And then I thought, okay, I'm not bad. I'm pretty well placed in that, so my future is relatively safe. I decided to do CA at the end of 8th standard itself. So when I say this, normally people get shocked. How did you decide at 8th standard itself? Because it's a pretty big decision. The reason is a bit funny. I would like to explain that. Uh, Normally at the beginning of ninth, you have most people start IIT JEE training. that decision I was supposed to make. I was a bit lazy. I was like, I'm not up for serious studies right now, right at 9 standard itself. I want to delay this process a bit. But of course, I can't tell my parents I'm not in the mood to study serious stuff. They will give me a ranking, although they're pretty good. So, as luck would have it, I got an opportunity to go to NASA in US. So when we went to NASA, all the space stuff there, the whole campus, it was nice. I had a great experience, but I don't feel it inspired me enough. So I was like, if NASA can't inspire me, I don't think science is the right way for me. So I could explain this to my parents, and my parents understood, and they told me, okay, don't take IT, very good. So what else are you going to do? I thought, okay, I think I'll either be a lawyer or a chartered accountant because my father is also a chartered accountant, so I kind of knew a bit about CA and lawyer because I thought it's pretty cool to argue with people and make sure you win the argument. So that's the reason I picked up lawyer. But then I finally went with CA because it had a lot of numbers and I love numbers. I never, I don't think I studied a day for maths in my life. I went to a ICSE school, so if some of you are from ICSE, you know it is not easy. Uh, my 10th standard board exams, math exam was the next day. The previous night, I was watching the movie Matrix with my father because that was the confidence I had in myself and my father had in me. Though it ended up being a little overconfident because I didn't get the marks that I hoped to have got. But then nothing went bad. It was not bad. I got decent marks, and then I joined Christ PU as planned because I wanted to get into Christ PU because I heard it's pretty good for commerce, and I thought, okay, let me have fun for 2 years because I know after this CA is going to come and it's going to take away my life. And with this thought process, I went for the interview for admission, and Father Jose, he took my interview and he's like, in science you got such good marks. I think I got 95, and he's like, your overall score is good. Why don't you take up science instead of commerce? I was like, no, I have decided to become a CA. So how much ever you convince me, I'm going to stick to commerce. And I think that was the first takeaway that you guys should take. You should know what you like or what you want to do. Society is going to tell a lot of things saying, no, this might not be good, take up something else. But you have to know yourself more because you're the best judge of yourself. So you stick to your plans, what you think is best for you. And that's how I got into Christ. It was a pretty social life. It was very not hard. Let me not say it was very easy. And then post PUC, CA started with a bang. So the day my board exams for second PU got over, immediately the next day tuitions for CA entrance exam started. There's not even 1 day gap. They're like, we need business. We're going to be serious. Are you up for it? What to do? No other choice. I told my parents I want to become a CA. So I went for tuitions and it was a pretty packed class and it was pretty intense as well because even the teachers don't like wasting time and they stick to the topic and they want to get done with their subjects. I had a good time, though it was hectic. Otherwise, all my other friends are enjoying summer holidays, thinking of which college to join, and I'm going here 7 days in a week. So in CA, there's nothing called a weekend, especially when you're studying. So every Saturday, every Sunday, every festival, you have classes. And most likely, if it is a Sunday or a festival, you might have extra classes because you guys are sitting and doing nothing, so might as well attend class. That's their thinking. So what to do? I've signed up for it, and when I do something, I want to make sure I do it right. So I attended most of my classes except for my statistics. I didn't like the teacher, so I was like, I can't attend this class. So I kind of skipped a bit of statistics, and I didn't have it in my PU also, which was a bit of a blunder. I finished my tuitions, and then there were a couple of weeks for my exams. They give you like study holidays, sit and study. But I didn't study much. So there's 1 week to exams, and that's when I started studying. And the previous day of the test, I'm like, wait, I think I've left statistics. I'm not understanding anything. And then I called up my friend. He had statistics in his PUC. So luckily he was very sweet and he helped me and taught me everything he knew. And I wrote my exam and it was 4 hours. It was a little hectic, but I thought I did pretty well. And I think probably a month after the exam was the results. And I was a bit confident but not very sure. I knew 1 week is not good enough. My father had zero hopes. He's like, Maga serious, 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 I told him. ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು CA ಅಂತ. It's okay. He'll probably fail this time. Next time he'll learn his mistake and he will do well. Results came. Luckily, I got distinction, as I was said in my introduction. I got almost 80%, and 80% in CA is like 110 in PUC. So it is really good score. And my father was shocked with a lot of happiness, and I could see his instant change in his facial expression. He knew, and not just happiness, there was a lot of confidence going into him. He knew my son was going to become a CA because he knew 1 week of studies I got pretty good score in my entrance. Though entrance is not as hard as final, but he knew okay, he knows his stuff, he knows how much effort to put in. So he gauged. So he thought, okay, I'm fine, he need not take any tension or face criticism from other people. So now you would think whether it was luck because CCPT was MCQs. So I could have gotten lucky, right? It need not have been a result of my hard work or my skills or aptitude or whatever it is. But I feel uh, it was due to me. I deserved it because, like I told you, there were intense classes and I enjoyed all my classes. If the professor is teaching something, I made sure I listened to him. I was very keen and curious about what he's teaching. I would be like, why is he doing this sum in this way and not that way? I would keep questioning it. If I knew the answer, I would jump into the next question and I'll be solving, though he's explaining something. So if you look at it in reality, my studies wasn't 1 week. My study was my class time. The 1 week was just revision in reality. So you spend a lot of time in your classrooms. Like I said, you can sleep, you can crack jokes with your friends, or you can make your life easier. Pay attention to the teacher, question the teacher, not out loud, in your mind. Why is it going like this? Why is she explaining this way? Why not this way? All your doubts get clarified right then and there. So you don't need to wait for the exam, see a question, and be like, oh, should the answer be like this or like this? Because that same question would have come to you in your class, and you would have realized, oh, it's not this option because of this reasoning. It is this. So your exams get much easier, and your study time will actually, in reality, only revision time. So this is one takeaway I would want all students to have. I keep telling it in my office as well. You have to get involved, get invested. It becomes much easier. So post my CPD, that's my entrance exam, IPCC started. For me, it was the best time of my life. I had a great time. I woke up at 5 every day, again including Saturdays, Sundays. Had a chill life with the tuitions. IPCC was one of my best times because it was around 6 to 8 months of tuitions, and our class timings was 6 to 12:30, and the rest of the day we were completely free. Again, the teachers are pretty good. They explain in a nice way, and they were pretty jovial. So they made jokes. They gave you extra gyan, and we literally called it extra gyan because they spoke a lot about life as well. So they made it very interesting. And one of my fond memories were my mom used to wake up at 5 and cook breakfast for me, and I used to take the breakfast, have breakfast, and again go to Upar Darshini, eat idli, and have coffee. So those are the fun things, and the best part, I thought I'm not doing much. I'm having a chill, fun time. All the people around me are like, "Udga CA ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಬಲು ಕಷ್ಟ ಇರಬೇಕು." So I had that extra respect, but at the same time, I was having a good time. So that's why I feel it was the best time. I hope Kannada is okay once in a way here and there. I will try to stick to English as much as possible. So that was pretty good from IPCC perspective. So IPCC is at least 3 4 times tougher than the entrance. So post my tuitions, I had 2.5 to 3 months of dedicated studies. For me, dedicated studies is studying the whole night. I would I would wake up late, probably start in the afternoon, then a bit of again studies in the evening. I used to play cricket for an hour in the evening just to keep myself fresh. But night was the hardcore time, hardcore study time. So I would for IPCC probably I used to study at least till 3 or 4, and I didn't find it a very difficult thing. When normally one more thing, when people tell I studied so many hours, don't get intimidated. A lot of people what they do is they calculate how much they study from start to end. I opened book at 9 a.m. I closed it at 3 a.m. in the night. So they'll calculate so many hours and they say I studied 16 hours. It is humanly impossible to study 16 hours. So don't ever get intimidated. You should know your effective hours of study. Be confident. Let people do 10 revision, 20 revisions. Don't get intimidated. Don't think, well, I'm underprepared. You should know your subject and you always should count your effective hours of study. I think for me, for effective hours of study of 8 to 9 hours for my final was there, I think it was a great day. Because your mind has a limited attention span, so you have to play around with it. So when it is dropping, you got to do other things where you can freshen up and you can get back to studies. So IPCC was around 2.5 months of studies, and I wrote my exams. This is much harder because there were 7 papers and 3 hours each. Towards the end, last couple of papers, I was so exhausted. I'm like, I don't think I'll write this because it's one group 4 subjects and the second group 3 subjects back then. So I thought I'll just leave second group. But my mother was like, no, no, just finish it off. You've done so much. I'm like, okay, let me just go. And after the results, I wasn't sure how I did. But my mom was like, my mother was like, I think you'll get distinction. I'm like, mommy, there's nothing called distinction in IPCC. It's only for entrance exam. And and then results came in. I got pretty good score. I got a 70.17% overall and almost 80% in my group one, which is the main group. I missed an All India rank by around 0.75 to 1%. And if I knew I was so close, I would have studied way harder. I just had no clue. And then, as I don't know, universe has it, couple of weeks after the results, I got a certificate saying you passed IPCC with distinction. So it was a very nice day. But was this the best part of IPCC for me? No. Though I was close to an All India rank, I don't think that was the highlight of IPCC for me. Because my highlight was my class time. So what I studied in classes and how teachers responded to my participation is the biggest highlight. For one example, in IPCC, our accounts teacher was All India CA Final Rank 3 holder. He was teaching something. Probably it's his own problem, or he would have picked up somewhere. You would have had time to analyze it at home and present it in the class. Oh, by the way, the fun fact, I'm a backbencher. I used to always sit in the last bench because, like I said, I want to have everything. I want to be the cool kid and the studious kid. So I always sat in the back. I uh, had my fun also. It was not like, but even in my fun, I should play even Subway Surfers during my tuition. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I made sure I listened to every word of the teacher because, like I said, I was probably one sum or two sums ahead of the teacher. I would have known which sum is going on. I will know what probably is the answer, so I'll be listening to him. If he says a different answer from what I've written, then I'll be like, okay, stop, correct it, learn the mistake there, then and there itself. So that was my I don't know. It was not a thing that I thought through it. It just happened naturally for me. So probably some of you can implement this. Not like Subway Surfers, but go ahead of the teacher and start solving your questions on your own to see where you're making mistakes and learn it in the class itself. So that's a very, very big way to help your studies. I forgot where I was. So uh, yeah, this is my accounts teacher. So he came with a problem. He solved the problem on the class, on the notice board, on the whiteboard, and he's explaining everything. I was at least 2, 3 sums ahead. I'm like, wait, this answer sounds a little different from what I've written, but I was very confident with my answer. So I went back to my notes. I checked what have I done, what is he done. Then I still felt some difference. I was pretty sure I'm still right, but I can't say he's wrong because he's a teacher, CA All India, rank 3. So I'm like, sir, I have a doubt. And he came. And then I'm like, sir, I think I got a different answer, but mine also seems right. So please, can you look at this? He went through the process. I explained what my thinking was behind the problem. And then he went back to the board and he said, we have a suggestion from the last bench. And he corrected his answer. So that is one of the proudest moments for me. But I'm just not showing off, but I want you to think a level deeper. How did this happen? I am not saying I'm better than him. I'm definitely not better than him. But how did I get the sum more correct rather than him? Because I was way more invested in that question. For me, it was a puzzle. It was a game. I had to solve it. For him, probably it's like, oh, I have to go teach. He was seeing the question in some book. We would have copy pasted it. But he's an amazing teacher. But I'm just saying, his level of investment is there because he is an excellent teacher. He should teach very well. He should follow all the dots. But my level of investment was one above his. That is the reason I got the sum right. Not because I'm better than him or I got lucky. For me, all my number subjects were like a game. I am sure all of you would have played video games at some point in your life. If you're playing in some level, you want to go to the next level. If you fail in that, you will keep repeating it till you finish. And you can play the video game. I don't even know if it's called video games now, but you can play all night. So that was what studying was for me, at least the non-theoretical subjects. Let me be honest. And there were a lot of instances like this. So in my entrance exam, my economics teacher, so if people around me ask a doubt to the teacher at the end of the class or after the class, then be like, you ask Shashank first. If he can't solve it, then you cover it. So these, and one of the very well-known teachers of direct taxes in IPCC, he came to our bench and he said, last bench again, he's like, I'm expecting a rank from you. Me and my one more friend, he's also very smart. Uh, and there was one more with my costing. This happened with my IPCC and my CA final. So sometimes you used to keep competitions and be like, whoever solves this the fastest gets a big chocolate or something. And I would have got it once. Then he'd be like, Shashank, you can't participate in the next one. So that was how it was, and I had a great time. I'm sure all of you can do it too if you get invested in it. Get ownership over it and treat it as yours and your challenge and your success to relish. As a kid, so all my life, my parents never told me you study this, don't study this, have you studied, are you well prepared, you want something. As a kid, they made it very, very clear to me saying, please study for yourself, don't study for us. We can take care of ourselves all through our life, we don't need you. But if you can study for yourself, you will be happy in the future. That went in deep when I was young itself. I am sure all your parents think the same. They might not say these exact words because emotions are the same for each parent. They might bring it down in a different way and put pressure on you to study or ask on your studies. But all they want you is to do well for your life and not for them. Trust me, because parents are something special that we can't yet dream of. So I want you to understand, you do it for you, not for your friend, not to look cool in front of someone else, but you do it for you and you won't regret it. If you regret it, come to me. We'll talk about it in the future. So this was my IPCC. I kind of have like 10 to 15 takeaways for this speech. So I thought if it's 45 minutes, there should be a takeaway every 3 minutes, and hope something helps someone. And then after my IPCC, I had to start my articleship. So articleship, so CA we have a 3 year rigorous work along with the tuitions. So we had tuitions from 6 to 9:30 in the morning, and then 10 to 6 you had to go work. And some people had to do BCom after that, which was like, I don't know, 6:30 to 9 or whatever, which I never went because I joined Jain College where they're like, you do whatever you want. Because it is very hard. Come on, CA tuitions, work, and then BCom was too much. So I joined Jain where they were very supportive. This was hard. Like this was hard because IPCC C3 was fun, but here there was not much fun. At least in IPCC you could have fun after the class, but here you don't have time at all. And for me, the toughest part was your social life is cut off. No family, no friends, and your non-CA friends will never understand what you're doing. Why is he studying so much? Hey, come down, we go play. I'm like, no, bro, no time there. It's not even an option for me. So there will be people to distract you and who won't understand you, especially relatives who haven't done. Why are you studying so much? You can't explain it to them, but you just have to keep doing it, and someday you will get the benefit of it. Uh, One takeaway, I'll also tell some of the mistakes I've done, so which will also help you so that you won't repeat such stuff. I was talking about articleship, which is 3 years of articleship. I joined one of the very reputed firms, which is fast growing in South Bangalore. I don't want to mention the name. One of the very well known teacher also had joined that place, so everyone wanted to get into that place. I just was like, okay, this is close to my house, I'll join. And I joined there. And a lot of people, the way I carry myself out, they thought, okay, this guy must have come through influence. His father is CA, so he must have come. Then when they got to know about my marks, they were like, oh, okay. Forget it. This place did not suit me because they polished, literally polished everything you did. They wanted to know about your life outside work, whether that is going to affect your work, whether you're just sitting idle, whether you're going for a walk with your friends during breaks. Every small thing was monitored. And I am a free bird. I will do whatever I'm supposed to do, but I want to do it in my own terms. I could explain this to my parents because you have an option only to shift articleship within the year, within the first year. If you cross the first year, you're stuck there for 3 years. So I told my parents this is not working out for me. And they completely agreed. And they were like, okay, let's take a transfer. Again, it's not just about my parents being cool or broad minded. It is also because I've earned this trust and respect. Because I've studied, I've taken care of my duties. So this young generation, what I see, okay, I consider myself also as young, but this generation, they talk a lot about freedom, rights, all good, sounds good. But if you do your duties, all these rights and freedom will automatically come around again. So it comes hand in hand. Do your duties right, you get all the rights and freedom you want. Don't go fighting for those rights and freedom because it's a waste of your energy, everyone else's energy. This is one takeaway that I wanted to give you about my articleship period. Then I shifted to my father's firm and I finished 2 years of articleship and then CA final exams. We had almost 2 years of tuitions, intense tuitions, and then 4 months of studies. My study time was all night. 2, 3 months all night I used to study. I used to go to sleep at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. And my parents used to wake up probably at that time. So I'll be like, good morning, good night, and then go to sleep. But I did it again in my own style, the way I wanted to. So when I came to final, I understood there are a lot more intricacies involved with doing academically well. It's about your mindset. By chance, if you think, oh, I can't do this, this is too tough, you're gone. Fail there itself. Because if you think you can't do it, no matter how much ever efforts you put, you won't do it. Because subconsciously, your mind is telling your conscious mind you can't do it. So don't for a second think that you can't do it. Don't let others tell you also, even if they tell, just think it's their ignorance. Because I would like to tell, when I told one of my friends in PUC at the end of PUC that I want to do CA, she got all scared. She sent one article of one student who had taken multiple years, multiple attempts, and he's almost depressed now. He's spoiled his life studying CA. She sent that article to me. I read halfway through. I'm like, "Hey, this article does not belong to me. This is his story, not my story." I just kept it aside. So that's how your mindset should be. And talk and mingle with people who are successful and who have done well. Because they will teach you things or they will pass on some techniques. Because I told you I'm very good with numbers, but I was not so good with theory. So for my final, I had to approach a guy. My father introduced, he was a All India CA rank 1 holder. He taught me a lot of techniques for theoretical subjects, especially audit. It was very different from what I would have done. That helped me to get really good score in audit. Because my IPCC, I just passed audit, I got 40. But in final, I got 62. And it's way harder. So you have to, there's also something say, your social circle or your inner circle will tell me a lot about your future. If your inner circle is good, your future will definitely be good. So it's okay, be selective because you deserve the best. This is what I wanted to tell. And luckily, again, talking about my inner circle, I think all my friends who I made friends in during C are all CS. Very probably one dropout, but that guy is exceptionally smart. He's that genius kind of smart. He does not need a CA. So at least 90% of my friends are all CAs. So that's my circle, that's how we think, that's the positive attitude. If I have a positive attitude, I will rub it off on them and they will do it for me. So this is also very important. So see what your social circle is and what their goals are. Because their goals are going to affect your future. Though it's not your goal. So these are some of the takeaways. Uh, and in final, one more tip. When you're studying so strongly, your mind sometimes gives up. It is exhausting. And sometimes you won't have the mood to study. But you're fine. But you won't have the mood to. How will you differentiate between these two? For me, two things work very well. One is power nap. So if I took a power nap for 12 minutes to 15 minutes, exact 12, 15 minutes, nothing more than 20, because that'll become a nap. I'll become one nap. So take a power nap. And if you get rejuvenated and get a lot of energy, that means it was just a slag and you can do it. You can overcome it. And there's also meditation. I did a lot of meditation in my CA final. It sounds old and old people do, but trust me, it is a cheat code. If you want cheat code in your game, meditation is it. It helps so much. You become a fresh person and you can study with so much focus and so much energy. So these two things I would suggest when you think you can't do it. And for me, sleep was very important because final is a hard game. So I made sure all the small factors were in my favor. I my food habits I try to control as much as I can. So I'm a non-vegetarian, but during my CA final I quit non-veg for 4 5 months because it is going to make you lethargic, and I didn't want that. Rice again, it's debatable. Some people think it makes you sleepy, but I've read a few articles that says rice is good for your brain. So I used to eat rice every day. But then I've been sitting at home not doing any physical activity. So at the end of final, I'd grown pretty big. I had only one pant that would fit me because I was studying in shorts and I didn't realize none of the pants are going to fit me when I have to go write the exam. So I wrote all my exams in one pant. I didn't have time to go buy new pants, or I did not have Mintra back then, so there's no option. That is how it was. I finished CA, but I was 80 kgs and fat. This is not my childhood dream. There's something wrong. There's something missing. I want to be both. It's okay. I was like, I don't want to be a CAO, get a lot of respect, but climb two stairs and act like an old man. That's not me. That's not what I want. So I started running. When I started running, 300 meters, I was out. My lungs used to feel like it's going to come out. But then I kept going at it. Every day, increase by 100 meters. Go a little slower, take a break, but it's okay. 1 year, I ran a lot. I ran almost 1,000 kilometers in a year. And without any diet, I came back to 70. And I'm right now around that itself, 68, 69. So I was happy at the end of the year. Okay, I have both things. Then I joined Deloitte post my qualification. Deloitte, I chose something called transfer pricing. It sounds cool, right? Transfer pricing. Right. At least, okay, whoever knows taxes, it sounds cool. So I thought, let me just do something cool. It was looking back at it, it was a mixed choice. It was good because I went into a big four. I understood their way of working, their management, their outlook, how a team works, how professional you have to be, how good your written English should be. So I learned a lot of good things. But transfer pricing was very boring for me because it did not have any numbers, barely any numbers. It was more about writing, and that flew over my head. So I was not good at it. And more importantly, it didn't serve my long-term purpose. One, because I had not thought what my long-term is. I made a mistake. I want to join Big Four, one fancy service line, because people say, oh, this is good, this is very remunerative, do this. This or mergers and acquisitions. But if I was a little smarter, I would have thought what my long run is. My long run goal was to come back to practice because my father has a 60-year-old firm. I want to come build on this. If I do something like transfer pricing, again, transfer pricing, my clients are Apple, Amazon, the best in the world. But let's be practical. As a small firm, I'm not going to work with these clients in the future. And probably I won't be dealing with the same transactions in the future. So was it serving my long-term goal? Probably not. Though it helped me in a lot of other non-technical ways. But I had a great time again. My team was excellent, very supportive. We had the best team in all of Deloitte in transfer pricing. So why I'm telling you this mistake is you have to treat each step of your life as an entry to your next gate. So right now you're doing PUC, right? A lot of parents, a lot of your social circles stress on getting good score in your boards. It is important, but it's not the end of life. You have to understand why it is important. It is only important to get you into the next college. So I'll take you step by step. So your next college is going to decide your first job, right? Then your first job is going to eventually decide, they'll see what is your previous salary, and your second job will get affected by that, and your third job. And life. So if you don't do well in this one board exam, you might not get into the ideal college and get the ideal job for your long run. See, once you finish your PUC, no one's going to ask you what is your PUC score, but your life is going to be affected by it. So treat each and everything as a very important ticket to the next game. That's all I would say. So that's why board exams are important. It will decide or set you in a direction. It is very hard as 17-year-old or 18-year-olds to decide what you're going to do in life. It is very hard. I only figured probably 25, 26. So, but you want to be good, right? Like you want to have a good life. So you have to study well. So just treat it. It's not about, oh, I need to score more than this fellow. Don't think like that. It is only your life, your long run. So I would just, that will take the pressure off. If you think you're competing with so many people, that's a lot of pressure. You just think I'm going to give my best, get the best out of myself. So my future is going to be better. It's a little more relaxing and you get the best out of you. So this is what I wanted to give you guys. Hopefully it's a decent takeaway. And then, so to correct one mistake, I thought, okay, let me do something else now. I thought, let me do MBA. MBA, in, again, one of the top 20 colleges in the world. Nothing below top 25 in the world. That was my target. If not, I'm happy with CA. If I'm trying something, I might as well try for the best. If I don't get it, might as well, it's okay. So I wrote my GMAT. I quit Deloitte. I thought, okay, this is the age to take a risk. Let me try MBA. I wrote my GMAT. I got a decent score. I got around 700 or 710 out of 800. Uh, I applied to three colleges. NYU is turn, which is probably globally 4 or 6 across the world for finance, and INSEAD, which is in France. And my backup was ISB, Indian School of Business, which is again top 2 in India. So that was my thinking. ISB, I got waitlisted, but I didn't get through. And I left it, and then COVID happened. So I was like, okay, leave it, probably not for me. But what was my takeaway was GMAT. Does my English sound decent at least? Whoever thinks my English sounds decent, please raise your hand. Okay, at least majority thinks my English is decent. GMAT, I realized my English is pathetic. It's MCQs. There are 4 options. Everything seemed right. I'm not able to understand what is wrong. And my school had very good English standards. Across ICC schools also, it was very good. GMAT taught me something else. I'm like, wow. Maths was easy. Maths, because we are Indians, normally we have that edge in math. But English is the challenging part. But I studied. So I want to tell you why English is very important. Let's keep aside rational thinking and emotional. Let's separate it. We all love our mother tongue. It is very dear to us. It is very important to us. But English is, I see, I don't know too much, but I'm just giving you whatever I know. So maybe all of you already know this, but I want to re-emphasize this here. English is very, very important, especially in my line of work or across most people's line of work. As a chartered accountant, I read laws. I read the Income Tax Act, standards and audit, accounting standards, whatever it is. Which language is it written in? So if your English is bad, though you might have an amazing competence in law or logical thinking, it won't help you. You need English to bridge the gap between your potential and your execution or your performance. I communicate with all my clients English. My exams are written in English. So the person who's evaluating your paper or the assessing officer or the CIT won't think how intelligent this fellow is, what is the merit of the case. He will only read your submission. From that, he's going to judge everything. Right? You can't blame him. That's how life works. So English is very important. Some of my CA students I've seen they're smart, but their English is lacking. So sometimes I'm like, go study GMAT. This will help your CA. Because one word, one comma makes a lot of difference and we don't even realize. I think there was an English teacher here, right? So I'm sure she'll be appreciative of this point. A full stop, a comma, and a preposition, everything makes a lot of difference. So, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. So please keep aside the emotions and love for your mother tongue and focus on English for your life. Then I told you I got only waitlisted uh, in ISB. So then I thought, okay, let me, for now at least temporarily, go into practice with my father. It was not my goal back then, but that then I did get into my father's work. I thought, okay, at least for the time being, till I figure out stuff. So first I was a little annoyed that I didn't get through MBA. Neither did I pick the right job at Deloitte. So a little frustrated. So not very keen on work. But then I started to see the work in my office was way, way more challenging, and it is because when it's challenging, you get excited and you want to solve things. It becomes yours. When it becomes your work, you do much better. So slowly, I started getting more involved in work, and that gave me a lot of satisfaction. Then I realized just me doing work is not enough. I have to give quality work to my juniors. They should learn something out of it. They should do something, and if they do it only, they can help their future. Now I'm focusing on building a team where if I train one level of juniors, they should be able to train the next set of incoming juniors when they leave. And this should be an automatic process. So if I train one set, probably I'll end up training hundreds in the long run. And I want that satisfaction because I have seen my juniors look up to me, and that satisfaction I'm sure I wouldn't have got in their life. This is the emotional part of it. But again, I am not going to be one dimensionally satisfied with one thing. Money is important too, right? It is very important. I am not going to say money is not important. So I started focusing on, okay, I have to build a business, I have to set so much targets, so much profits. But then one question came to me: how much money is it enough? Anyone want to take a guess how much money is enough? How much per annual income is enough? By raise of hands, anyone wants to take a guess? Shoot, it's okay. Take a random guess. I think I found an answer, so I want to see if the answer matches. Yes. Or without standing up, without just shout out one number. If it makes you feel more comfortable.
1 crore from this side.
1 crore. 1 crore per annum. Right? Okay. Big girl, good, amazing. Trust me, it's not enough. I'll tell you why it's not enough. Let's say you're earning 1 crore. You think your friends are going to be earning 1 lakh per annum? You will be in a circle, a corporate circle, where there'll be people earning 2 crores, 5 crores, 10 crores. So that 1 crore won't look the same 1 crore as it is looking right now. So you can't have a quantitative target. Because who are the richest people on earth right now? Jeff Bezos, Ambani's. Do you see them chilling? Have you seen them take a holiday? Say, yeah, ನಾನು ಸಾಕು ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇವಾಗ ಮಜಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. One rich person, not even one, because no amount of money is enough. It's a quicksand, so don't go down that. It is never ending. You'll never reach the bottom. But now you'll be like, okay, so how else will I set my goals? Right? Now you'll be confused. So what I decided was I want great satisfaction out of the work that I do. So in my work, there are some things that are giving me again amazing satisfaction. Something like one of my clients had it's a probably a his share was 300 crores. So in this project, so we had to take external additional advice from one of the best direct tax practitioners in Bangalore or across India. So we went to, we discussed the case, and then he was set on his point saying, no, this is wrong, this is this thing. But then I asked him a couple of questions which confused him and he took a step back. He had to reevaluate his answer. Me being able to get that googly or bouncer was such a big thrill, Or there's a new client, or there's some client. I give them a solution, and they are taken aback and they're so surprised and happy. That is the satisfaction I want. But don't worry, money is going to come. If you have helped your client and given an amazing solution, do you think he's going to leave you? You charge him on 20% extra also, do you think he's going to say no? Because he's not going to get the same somewhere else. So you have these targets, money will automatically come. And in case someone else is earning more than you are way more confident and way more satisfied. Even that extra money won't make a difference. But again, I want to come back to my I want everything in life. So that is the quality. See, again, going back to my studies, I never had a goal saying I'm 70% paper, 80% paper, or I should get distinction, or I should get an all India rank. I just wanted to do well in my classes. And I'm a bit of a show off, so I wanted to give the answer first. And if someone else tells a different answer, I want to be like, no, that is wrong. So I had this competitive spirit that drove me, and the marks followed. It was not, I was never under pressure saying, oh, I have to get this much score in this exam. Yes, of course, I want to pass, but passing was not in my thought process because I knew I'm going to pass. It was not a question. I never had the doubt, will I pass, result, but CA final result is tomorrow. I am chilling with my friend and thinking where to party after the results. Where to give treat to my friends. That was the level of confidence I had because it was only a matter of how much I'm going to get. Because of the confidence I built through the classes, where I knew I'm getting a lot of sums correct. And I've learned a lot, I've questioned a lot, got my doubts clarified. So this is the path I would want all of you to think about at least. See if you can implement. You are still 16, 17, 18. It's okay, it's hard to implement right now. But if something sticks to your mind right now, when the time comes and you remember this and you implement it, I hope it is going to like I said, again, I don't want to be one dimensional. Quality is important, but quantity is also equally important. Money is very, very important, but it's not the most important thing. Like to life, I would equate money to food, but there are more important things like oxygen and water. So you need a family or emotion, a good emotional state to make a holistic life. But again, without food, you can survive for some time. Without money, also you can survive, but not long enough. So money is also important. So I would want to give some finance tips or basic tips. It's not very complicated. You guys are in PUC, may not be useful right now, but it will be useful once you start getting stipend or your first salary. Uh, have you guys heard of compounding? The power of compounding. You have? Anyone else? Raise your hands. Compound interest. Compound interest you have learned somewhere in maths, but the power of it. So once you get your money, the first money, even with your pocket money, you can try because it's not about the quantum when you start. Trust me, it is about the habit. If you learn to save from the initial stages, if you learn to save 500 rupees, I am sure if you get 5 lakh per month, you will know how to save 1 lakh or 2 lakhs, irrespective of if the person next to you is earning 10 lakhs or if he's leading a different lifestyle. So please start saving and investing. Saving is not equal to investing. Investing is one step ahead because if you just save, it's not going to be useful. Your FD savings banker is pathetic. He'll give you 3% interest. FD might give you 6% because you're all young. Inflation is also 6%. So your 100 rupees of FD will become 106 rupees at the end of the year. What you could have bought for 100 rupees today will also become 106. So your money is worth the same. But if it is savings bank, it is worse. It is becoming only 103. And to buy the same burger, which cost you 100 rupees, now is costing 106, you can't even buy a burger now with the same money. So what's the point? So you got to invest in something that beats the inflation, which is not very hard. You just have to invest in, again, these are mutual fund, they give a disclaimer, right? These are not an advice, it's just something like that. So if you invest in the index, it's a very safe way to invest. Should I get the better? Okay. Okay. Sure. Your favorites. Just go on. So whatever I told, I put it down in numbers. Because at the end, whatever I explain, you might believe, might not believe, but if you see it in numbers, you will actually get the real essence of it. So let's say you might start earning by March of 20, maybe 20, 21, it doesn't make a difference. So if you invest in the stock market, in the index is basically a collection of all the top 30 companies, the current 30 companies. It may not be the same. So after 5 years, the top 30 companies might be different. But it will keep investing only in the top 30 companies of the index of, for example, Bombay Stock Exchange, the Sensex. NSE has Nifty 50. So invest in the index. When you see the last many decades of market return, the average is around 15 to 16% average yearly return. So I'm saying your investment is going to give you 15% return, and your inflation is 6, which is again probably little higher than the average because, but yeah, let's just prepare for the worst. So you're going to invest only once, and that will be 1,000 rupees. So at the age of 20, you invest 1,000 rupees. For 1,000 rupees, you get something worth 1,000. Let's say one shirt. I don't know what you get for 1,000 rupees, but shirt is an easy way where everyone can relate. So and when you become age 21, your 1,000 is going to be 1,150. Just click on the formula. So I've given the formula there. So C4 is 1,000 and 1 plus the interest rate to the power of 1 year. So basically, you can go home and do this also. Take a calculator, cross check my workings. You'll get the same numbers because I've used Excel. Yeah, come on. So your shirt is going to cost 1,060 rupees at the end of year 1. End of year 2, your 1,150 is going to become 1,320. So if you see the difference between 1,323 minus 1,150. See, first year you got 150 rupees return, right? Second year you're getting 173 for the same 1,000 rupees. Because it's not just your 1,000 rupees working, even your 150 rupees is working. So your returns are also being reinvested in simple terms. So your money is working for you, your returns on your money is working for you. And your shirt is going to cost 1,124. So now you're seeing the difference between 1,323 and 1,124. So if you keep getting investing, comfortably done, you can see your per annum return per year. Go. So this 1,000, whether yearly return touches 1,000. Yeah, 35. At the age of 35, your yearly return is 1,061, whereas your initial investment was only 1,000 rupees. This is if you let it work for 15 years. But that is hard. Now come fully down. At the age of 50, your 1,000 rupees would have become 66,000. And your shirt is only going to cost 5,700. So how many shirts can you get? 11 and a half shirts you can get. If you decide to not buy one shirt today, you will have the power to buy 11 and a half shirts at 30 years later. Okay? It is important. Of course, it's not like you're going to have only 1,000 rupees, right? You're going to have 5,000 rupees. Instead of buying 2 shirts, buy 1 shirt right now. Keep the other 1,000 rupees for your future. Simple. So in absolute terms, your 1,000 rupees is multiplied by 66.2. But that is not important. That's the absolute number. Because what 1 lakh meant 20 years back is not the same. Because it was way more valuable. So you have to see inflation adjusted. and it is still growing at a fantastic rate. This is just 1,000. So come to the next step. Let's say you invest 20,000 instead of 1,000. I just go straight to the last number. Your 20,000 is going to be 13 lakh 24,000 rupees. Isn't that great? And if you doubt my Excel, you can go home, check on your own, and see if these numbers match up or not. That is when you will believe it. But of course, you're not going to do one-time investment, right? You're going to invest every month. That is the idea. So go to the next tab. So what I want you guys to do is visualize these numbers and see that it is possible for each and every one of you. I will tell you, this looks simple, but I'll give you more details later on. So at the age of 20, I know this is a little optimistic to save 5,000 rupees per month, but let's say you save 5,000 rupees per month. So your original investment for the whole year is 60,000. The next year, your 60,000 is going to give 15% return, which is 9,000. But as you grow, you're going to earn more also, right? So your saving opportunity is also going to be. So instead of 5,000, you're going to invest the second year 2,500 more, 7.5. So your investment bucket at the end of the year is 1,59,000. 60,000 was the old last year's investment. 9,000 was the return on the 60,000. Addition is 90,000. So the value at the end of year one is 1,59,000. Though you have invested 1,50,000. So assuming every year you increase 2,500 more every year per month. Let's go to the last. We started with 5,000 per month, right? Come to the last. So can someone read this out loud? Read the last number out.
12 crore 40,000, 40 lakhs 48,799.
That's the power of 5,000. I don't want to sound like a salesman. I have no return to this, but that is the power of compounding that everyone should know. But it's not just power of compounding; it's the power of discipline because you got to invest every month, every year. But sometimes there will be bad times. You might not earn the same. You might not invest. You can't invest the same. It is okay. Instead of 12 crores, you might get 10 crores at least. No, go up, go to the top. Change 5,000 to 2,000. So 5,000 is optimistic for your first year. You make it 2,000, and every year 2,500 increase. So it's only increasing by 2.5 every year. Now let's go to the last. Even if you start with 2,000, you might end up going to 10 crores, 60 lakhs at the age of 50, which is again huge. Even if you consider inflation, you are doing pretty well. This looks too good to be true, right? Does anyone think it's easy? Everyone can do this. There must be some catch. There can be a catch, right? So probably I don't need the PPT now. So there must be some reason. I'm sure everyone can invest 2,000, 5,000 per month. 1 month you can do it, 2 months you can do it. But why is not enough people reaching 10 crores, 60 lakhs or 12 crores, 40 lakhs? There must be a reason. Has anyone heard of delayed gratification? Anyone knows what delayed gratification means? So I saw this video on Instagram. It said if you want to check if a child is smart or wise or has a potential, give it one chocolate and say you can eat this now, or if you wait for half an hour, you get two chocolates. If the child decides to wait for half an hour and get two chocolates, that child will survive and be successful in life. Delayed gratification is very, very hard. It is very hard to resist not spending or not enjoying it right now and thinking, oh, let me save it for future. This is what you need to capitalize. There are a lot of things in this world hurting or making delayed gratification even harder. Instagram, all social media apps, fast food restaurants are making these things hard because you are getting gratification at the touch of your fingertip. a tip of the finger. Sorry. So it is making the ability to delay your gratification even harder. So it is getting harder for everyone, right? But if you excel in this, you're going to be way ahead than the rest of them. So you can look at this negative as a positive as well. Because yes, you can exercise delayed gratification. Your returns are going to be better than most people. So you can look at this negative as a positive as well. And the discipline, you just need to. So the trick is, let's say your first salary you earn, I don't want to give a bad figure, 25,000 or 50,000, whatever it is. Assume your salary is only 45,000 or 25,000. You get 25,000 on 30th. First you invest 5,000 and then you deal with the remaining 20,000. Because as a kid in PUC, you were able to manage with 2,000, 5,000. I don't know what your monthly. So let's say you have invested 3 years, 5 years, your fund is doing well. COVID happened. I don't know if you realize the markets crashed. Lot of people just in that panic wanted to withdraw the money because that money belongs to the family. Because if husband or wife, whoever is invested, and the money value is going down drastically, they'll be like, how can I face my family? They'll be like, ದುಡ್ಡೆಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ದೆ? Now what does it become? So in this fear, people panic and withdraw the money at the worst possible time. This is one reason. Second reason, when the markets are doing exceptionally well, greed kicks in. Extra good activity. I'll also get more money. But when it is already peaking and going at a very fast rate, it's bound to go down. So don't let your greed or fear impact your investing decision. Stick to a systematic investment. Don't care about the markets. What I would do is I would keep at least 60 or 70% of my money as systematic investment and I would accumulate the remaining and wait for a crisis. Ukraine war, COVID. I invested in bulk. I'm like, I don't have any responsibilities. I'm single. No one to take care of. What will I do with this money? Put it. Even if the returns come out 5 years, it is fine. Because humans will always find a way to bounce back. Japan has faced so many earthquakes, but Japan bounces back. Every adversity humankind has shown many times in the past, it will bounce back, and you don't need to worry. Don't let fear or greed impact your investing decisions. So I hope I've answered to a fair extent of if it is simple, why aren't people doing it, or why aren't people easily accomplishing it? That's the first question that should have come to your mind. If it was so easy, why is it not happening? The second question that should have come is, boss, I'm 20 years right now. I am young. I want to enjoy my life. 50 years, what will I do with this money? Correct. I'll be a Buddha. What will I do with this money? Did that question come to anyone? Yeah, right? So can we cheat time? Is there a way to cheat time? Not directly, obviously you can't pause your aging era. But to an extent you can cheat time. How? Be fit and healthy, eat healthy, have healthy habits. I am 30 right now, but sometimes I look way younger than a 22-year-old in my gym. You can cheat time. There's a saying that I've read and it makes a lot of sense. If you're fit, your 30s is the same as your 20s, but with extra money because you earned. So you take care of your body. Trust me, there are a lot of 50-year-olds who are super fit. They can trek. They probably will be fitter than some of the people here. Keep yourself fit. You can enjoy that money. Though you're 50, you'll feel like 20 and you can do anything you want. And find a nice life partner, have a good family connection. So you can enjoy with someone meaningful, whether it's your parents, children, whatever it is. So you can make use of this money even if you are at 50. But you have to learn to say no to a lot of things. Unhealthy food. And for me, whenever I lose weight or lose even a half kg, 1 kg, people will be like, ಅಯ್ಯೋ ತುಂಬಾ ಸಣ್ಣ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ಯಾ ಮನೇಲಿ ಊಟ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ I'm like, becoming thin is very, very hard. Becoming fat is easy. Because all these old people, what happened when they were young, India was not so developed. Getting access to good food was not easy. There was malnutrition. So everyone used to be weak. Not weak. basically on the leaner side. So if someone is fat, that means, oh, he's getting all nice Gorambe, almonds at home, the rich fellow. So being fat is a symbolic representation of being wealthy back then. But now it is not the case. Unhealthy food is way, way cheaper than healthy. You want to go buy a nice salad, it's going to cost more than biscuits or puffs. Say no to maida, say no to sugar. Very initially might feel hard, but after some time, I don't drink coke. No, it's not needed. You can develop resistance, and after some time, you will achieve. I don't want this. You can ask Raghav, I say no to food pretty easily. And the thing is, the trick, your first no is the toughest. You eat one taste order. Okay, taste order. I'm going to what the biscuit you eat. No, you'll end up eating 3 4 biscuits. You just say no to that taste. You're done. You don't have to get the temptation of eating one more biscuit, one more biscuit, one more biscuit. It is simple. So why I said your health is important because you heard of. I'm sure everyone would have heard of Warren Buffett. Because I got this thought process. He's the one of the richest guys on earth. Is always in the top 10, the best investor ever. So in a room filled of young people, someone asked, "Would you exchange your life right now with Warren Buffett?" No one will because he's super rich, but he's very, very old. He can't do anything with the money, and he's going to die anytime. So your youth and experiences are also important. But if you kids keep fit, keep healthy, you can have the best of both worlds. And see, there are other benefits of keeping fit and healthy. When you say no to a lot of things, you're saving money, right? And when you're light and fit, you feel more energetic, confident. You can wear nice clothes. Clothes look better on you. Everything is a positive. There is no negative in being fit or healthy. And trust me, it is only the first couple of weeks or 1 month which is difficult. After that, life is going to be super easy. So once I going back to my fitness, I'll just tell a bit about it. I think I've covered most of it. I'm not sure how much I've spoken. Uh, I'll try to wrap it up as soon as possible. Uh, After my running, again I joined Deloitte. It was kind of hectic and I was having fun. So again I put on a little weight and then I left Deloitte. I was not happy with where I was because I was again back to 75, 76. So I joined Cult Fit. I'm sure everyone would have heard. I am with Cult Fit for 6 years. COVID time, I was regular. I could not miss a day of workout unless it's a rest day or there's too much work. So minimum 5 workouts in a week for sure. But also it does not mean fitness body is only the important thing. I would never spend more than 1 hour or 15 minutes in a gym. That's it. Because I have other things in life also. Right? I have work, family time, or even chilling time. So I didn't want to compromise 15 minutes. When you do it on a consistent basis, you'll be unstoppable. I don't get tired. I can climb up 10 floors, 20 floors. I've done few Himalayan treks. My running, I've done 10 kilometers in like 57 minutes, 5K in 26 minutes. I've ridden a cycle for 130 kilometers. Uh, I don't know. I'm 69 kgs. Anyone want to guess what's my highest squat? Who knows what the squat is? Someone knows. You want to guess my highest squat? How much I've squatted? In kgs, in kgs. 2 kgs. Pretty close, 140 kgs. So that's basically 2 times of my body weight. And I've done few Himalayan treks. So I want to close this with my Himalayan trek and all the takeaways that I have summarized. So last year, exactly today, I think, on this same day, I gone to Pimbaba Pass Trek, which is considered a tough trek. It is a non-technical trek, but it is difficult. Uh, just before I went, there were landslides in Himachal Pradesh. A couple of people had died in Shimla. Shimla was the first stop for me. So my parents were in Chikmagalur and I left in the morning to the airport. And there was some big landslide in Kedarnath. A lot of people died and it's pretty bad. My parents said, come back. No, not going. Though my parents have always been chill, but this is of course dangerous, right? Possibly dangerous. So I was like, I was confused. Should I go back, go from? I thought, okay, I might as well go. One more guy is like, we'll keep going. First we'll go to Chandigarh, then Shimla. If it is raining too much, then probably we can head back. I thought, okay, makes sense. Let's go. And I was lucky throughout, there was not much rain. And On the fifth day of the trek, it started raining. And that was the day we were supposed to do the pass. So basically, what a pass is, there are it's a two valleys submerged. So normally you walk through the valleys. No one goes up and down, up and down. Wherever the lowest, you go around the mountains like that. But when once you hit a dead end and you have to cross a peak, you go fully up and then get into the other valley. That's called a pass. And this was the pass day. I've done one more pass exactly a year back. That was okay. This pass, it is raining, and the guide tells this is the pass. All of us were like, you must be joking. There is no way we can climb this. It looked impossible. It looked very, very scary. It was 16,200 feet above sea level. It was very high. And it was raining, so we had a buffer day when it rained because it's dangerous and it is prone to landslides. We thought, okay, we'll just take a rest that day. And that day, altitude sickness hit me. So I was feeling feverish and like very fuzzy in my vision. So, but that was just a couple of hours. So the trick is not to sleep and you have to walk. You have to let your body be out in the open to acclimatize to the surroundings. And then you will fight AMS, altitude mountain sickness. So that day was fine. I overcame my altitude sickness. And then in the night around 2 a.m., there was a huge rockfall. The previous day we had heard what a rockfall sounds like. It sounds like a small bomb, like a small explosion like that, or huge gunshots. 2 a.m., huge landslide. I thought all those rocks are going to come hit that tent and we're dead. It was so loud and I woke up in a shock. I was like, shit, I should have listened to my parents. I don't think I'm going to return back to Bangalore. So I started making notes on my phone saying, thank you, sorry, whatever I had to say. I wrote down a lengthy message and I genuinely thought either this landslide is going to hit us, next landslide, or when we're going up, something is going to happen. And then I'm like, no, I have to do politics now. Convince everyone, to convince the guide to say, go back. No going front. And that guide, like a hero, is like, whatever happens tomorrow, we're going to cross the pass. I'm like, buddy, life is more important. And that happened. For my bad luck, I got a very bad sore throat. Sore throat, and I started feeling fevers. So when you do a Himalayan trek, no one's giving you warm water. You're going to get freezing cold water. And if you don't consume water, you're going to get altitude sickness. Though it is very cold, water is as important as it would be in a desert. So you have to consume at least 5 liters of water every day. I have a super bad throat, slight fever. Have to consume cold, like ice cold water with the sore throat. And with the fever, I had a bad running nose. Okay, sorry, I kind of jumped. So this is my condition, and then 6 a.m. we woke up. I'm trying to convince the guy, like, not happening, let's go back, I'll pay you whatever it is. I want to go back. Alone also, I don't mind, I'll go back. Then he's like, wait, let's see. By 7:30, all the clouds luckily cleared up. And then he's suddenly like, let's leave. And once the cloud cleared up and sunlight came in, we saw the landslide had not happened in the past, it had happened in the past next to it. And the landscape had totally changed. And these are not like Skandagiri or Nandi Hills. These are huge Himalayan mountains. And the landscape had changed. You couldn't differentiate that day's photo with the previous day's photo. That's how much change it happened. But one good thing was like, oh, it didn't happen in our path. So probably our path is more stable, even in this critical or bad adverse weather. So some confidence, and even I got there was so much I've done, I have to cross it. And I was carrying my backpack. You have an option to offload it. You can put all your clothes on you, they'll carry. But I'm like, all these days I've carried, even this day I'll carry because I want to have the satisfaction of finishing the pass on my own. And your backpack is 11 kgs. 10 to 12 fluctuates with the amount of water you have. So 12 kgs and super hard pass. Plus I'm not at all done. I have a running nose and it is very windy. So and these passes are very tricky. So there's exact space to walk. So instead of walking like this, if I had gone little this much, I would have slid. And anything could have happened depending on how depth that spot was. I have a running nose. When you have a running nose, you know you can't look down. Right? I have to look up. Sore throat, cold water. I somehow do it. So I kept. Oh, by the way, I'm a little religious also. I go to the Baba temple every Thursday for Aarti because, like I said, multi-dimensional. I want to experience everything. I want. I'll tell you the reason. A little more. Sorry, give me 5 more minutes. And so I kept chanting, thinking of my parents and thinking of the feeling once I finished this. And I wanted that satisfaction of not offloading my backpack. Because little egoistic what to do. So I most of the time I didn't even realize that I'm walking. I am in a different zone. Like I'm zombie walking. It's almost like zombie walking. But then somehow I finished it. And then when I look back on this day, right, what I realized was the biggest takeaway is if I was in the same health condition in my house, pakka office bunk, I would have slept the whole day. I wouldn't even have watched Netflix. I was in that condition. I would have slept the whole day with Uncle Life, right? But I did that. That was basically the toughest day for me. And I went through it. My biggest takeaway is your capabilities will surprise you, and even you have no clue what you're capable of. And when there is no option in life, right, you will do anything. You need to have that fire behind you. That's an external stimuli. But when you have no choice, yourself, your body, your mind will show you wonders. So if you're not doing great right now, don't put down yourself because you have a lot of potential inside, which will awaken at the right time. This is what I wanted to tell about my Pin Baba story. And when I look back at the religious thing, what I wanted to say, first you need to learn to control your body. Once you can physically control yourself, then you can control your mind easier. Once you can control your mind, you can control your emotions. Because if your emotions are in check, you won't do big mistakes. And after this is the spiritual level, which can also be worked upon whenever you reach this stage. So take care of yourself health wise because that's the basic step. You can do this, then the mental, then the emotional, and then the spiritual. So I think I'm done with my speech. I will quickly summarize my takeaways. So in case anyone has, I know it is very very hard to listen to a 45 minutes speech or 1 hour speech because the human attention span is very short, unfortunately. So the key takeaways I've noted down 15. One is how to approach a lecture. Be selfish. See what you can take away for free. You're not even paying for it. So see what you can take away. You can have everything you want. Say say no to say no to pressure or social pressure. What I did with my PUC admission, I was pretty sure of what I wanted to do, and do it for yourself. That's when you will really be invested. That's the easiest way to be invested. Selfishness can be also leveraged upon. Have the curiosity and questioning mind in class. That will be your study time itself. So your real study time will be much shorter and be revision. Mark all the important points there and understand why it is important. Be invested in the subject, and that's how I could get the right answer, which is that's how I could correct my upon teacher. Control mind, meditation, and when you're studying, it is all about the effective hours of study and not the total time. And have a positive mindset, be around positive people. Duties come first, and then comes rights and freedom. The importance and power of English. How much money is enough? That's a don't get too carried away and understand you need both the quantity and the quality. Power of compounding. I kind of missed this. What is the difference between expense and investment? So, for example, if someone buys a fancy car or a fancy watch or fancy clothes, just because it's something fancy and expensive does not mean it is a unnecessary expense. It can be an investment for that person. Just because it is an investment for that person need not be an investment for you. It depends on what area of work you do. So, for example, I'm sure all the real estate guys you will have seen will be roaming around in big cars. One is, yes, to satisfy their big egos, but also they have to show that they have enough wealth. Only if they can roam in a car, they'll get a loan of, they can roam in a 50 lakh car, only they'll get some 5 crore loan or 10 crore loan. Or a customer will be like, this guy built my house nicely. He has that resources. So for him, the expensive car might be an investment, might not be for you. Or someone wearing designer brands, they might be working in the entertainment industry because they're supposed to have it. So it might be an investment for that person, might not be for you. It's okay to splurge sometimes. It's okay to give your loved ones something expensive because again, it is not an expense. You're investing in your relationship with that person and making that person happy. So these are very thin lines that you need to identify and you need to understand. Quantity and quality of our ego. Next topic. My handwriting is very bad. I can't believe what this is. Again, you can do everything you want when you have no other choice. I hope this was not too boring and you guys could stay through me at least to most parts. If you guys have any questions or anything to say or add on to, you are welcome. Please don't put me in a wrong way and don't take unnecessary supplements, especially the guys. There's a lot of things like steroids, creatine, and stuff. Say no to that because at the end, health is important, not the body. You work out enough, you're going to get a good looking body too. And there are a lot of people who take a lot of stuff. Don't they are low, low visioned people. So don't fall for that trap. Health is priority. How I would differentiate for whoever goes to the gym or whoever will go. What is produced inside your body, like testosterone or estrogen or creatine, it is all produced within the body. Do not supplement it unless a doctor says, because you are messing with your body cycle and the balances. It's okay to take protein supplements, which are well branded, and you can do some research. Because protein you're meant to consume and eat it up. Best is to eat protein rich food. So this is one general random advice I would give to people who want to do this in the future.
Good morning, myself Ajay from second year commerce. On behalf of all the students, I have some questions regarding your profession. Sir. How do you think that advancement in technology will affect the future of accounting and your role as a CEO?
See, I think it will help because again, any changes, it's up to you, your perspective. You want to see it negatively or positively. Yes, it can take away some basic accounting work, but these are low value addition. Uh, the low value addition always gives lesser pay. So that work is being done by someone else. So you can focus your mind, energy, time on something way more complex, and you will be in a position to deliver something better that technology cannot give, and probably you cannot do.
Do you think is it better to practice ourselves or is it better to join a company?
A good question actually, because most of them would have this question, I guess. Again, it's very individualistic and personal choice, but on a broad view, I would say, see, I was lucky enough because I was 60-year-old practice, but I still joined a company because you need to get an external exposure, experience, and see how it is, how the world works. And moreover, as a young 22 or 25-year-old CA, someone who's in the business for 25 years, he's not going to place his money matters with a young guy, however smart you are. He's going to look at experience. So you need to earn that experience. I keep saying CA is one stage. You get a certificate, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you've conquered success. You have to put in the work. Hustle never stops. So you need to get that experience because practical difficulties would be different. So I would suggest go to a company unless you have a practice or you are ready to join as a junior partner or a associate in some medium size work. I would say go to a. This might sound a little unethical, but go to a company along with your job. Start practicing or doing some assignments on your own. So this is the with CA probably it's unethical, so I won't suggest this. For other areas of work, where it is okay. Anyone who wants to do Bangalore is a startup hub, right? Everyone wants to be an entrepreneur. Say I'm an entrepreneur, I'm damn cool. But it's not so easy. First, you get a stable income. Then, along with the stable income, you start building your startup or whatever business. Once that business is generating enough revenue or turns profitable or is about to turn profitable, that's when you can quit your job and jump to this. You straight away jump to startup with no experience. 999 times out of 1,000 you're worth it. and lose family money or whatever. So get a job, have a stable income. Along with it, you have to put the extras beyond the 8 hours of work. Startups are not easy. So along with that, build it, then you can take it.
For the last we have, especially during the phase of your articleship, how was it, sir? Was it really kind of easy, or you had to go through sufferings?
Not at all easy. I am blessed with being good with numbers and still it was very, very probably after my Pin Baba story, that was the hardest thing of my life. Not because there's too much work, because of so many things you got to do. You got to go to classes, then you got to work, then you probably have to study sometime, and no social life. At a young age, you want to do a lot of things, and your friends are doing that. Avoiding that, being cut off, and I'm sure all of you during lockdown will have felt that just sitting at home makes you less energetic. So overcoming that, that is the hard things, not just the work or the syllabus. So these things make it harder. And one more thing difficult about CA is, see, in colleges you have one test, midterm exam, or before final exam you have one more preparatory exam, and then you have your boards. CA is not like that. After your inter, 2.5 years later, direct final exam with humongous volume of. So there's no preparation. There's no one to check where you're going wrong. They just throw you in the deep end direct. So in college system, it is much easier because you have tests. You can correct yourself and not face the teacher. So that is why articleship is pretty hard. So I try to make it not so hard for my articles. But I try to be hard on them because my managers, my seniors were hard on me. I have learned by making mistakes. I said in my articleship period, I've cried. I've literally cried. It's not guys also cry, everyone cried, everyone did. But that has taught me so much, and I will never forget those things that I've
So you have inspired us a lot. Thank you.
Sir, that was a quite energetic speech. I guess you motivated all of us a lot. You inspired us by your words. And I must say that you proved a quote right. That is like when there is will, there is always a way. So thank you so much, sir. So for the end of the segment, I would like to call Navishi to give the word of thanks. Remarkable event, it is my privilege to propose a word of thanks on behalf of the entire organizing committee and the attendees. First and foremost, I would like to express our deepest gratitude to our esteemed chief guest, CA SHASHANK Subramanyam sir, for gracing us with his presence and sharing his valuable insights. Your presence has added immense value to this gathering, and we are truly grateful for the knowledge and inspiration you have bestowed upon us. Next, I would like to thank our beloved principal, Dr. G.S. Nalini Ma'am, for supporting this event. Next, I would like to thank V. Rajlakshmi Ma'am and Shailaja Patil Ma'am for organizing this wonderful event. I further express my gratitude to all the lecturers and non-teaching staff. Last but not the least, I would like to thank my dear friends for attending this delightful event. Thank you.